Oh, the Democrats thought that the Epstein files were finally going to take down Donald Trump, but it seems like President Trump has been playing 4D chess all along, perhaps, because now that the files are coming out, it's taking down multiple Democrats, and they are in full-blown damage control mode.
And I got a text from Jeffrey Epstein, who at the time was my constituent who was sharing information with me.
And then you have Bill Clinton's BFF, Larry Summers.
Some of you will have seen my statement of regret, expressing my shame with respect to what I did in communication with Mr. Epstein.
Trying to get ahead of it. He's literally the Homer Simpson meme, like, oh, goodness, I'm taking a leave of absence. Oh, but by the way, it just gets worse, so strap in. Welcome back to Sara Gonzales Unfiltered. Make sure that you are subscribed. Make sure you hit the bell for notifications. Smash the like button and comment. Let us know what you think. It'll help us out in the algorithm, which we all know is stacked against us. So releasing the Epstein files may go down as one of the, greatest political maneuvers of our lifetime, not from the Democrats, but from President Trump, because we've heard the back and forth and it hasn't made sense, right? Like, I'm watching this play out, and I'm watching before the election, President Trump takes a strong stance on transparency with regard to Jeffrey Epstein and all of the files and all of the terrible people who were associated with him and abusing young girls at his island. And so he's like, yes, we should be transparent. And then he gets in office, and we all saw how the narrative changed when he got into office. And it was very perplexing at the time. It was very like, what do you mean it's a Democrat hoax? What do you mean there's no file? What do you mean, Pam Bondi? You just said all the files were on your desk and you were about to release them. And then it became like, remember the binders? And then all of a sudden it was like, what files? Turns out there's no files. And so it was very strange. And now in hindsight, you have to wonder, maybe this was the whole play. Maybe this was some sort of 4D chess that President Trump was playing, because the Democrats knew they had to take the opposite stance of Donald Trump. Donald Trump says there's no files. Release the files. Release the files. And then they're like, we can redact it so it looks like we got him. Except now it's spectacularly backfiring on them, because they couldn't predict with their Trump derangement syndrome riddled brains. They're already starting off bad. They've already got the tiny little pea brains to begin with. And so once you add TDS to the pea brain, it becomes so unusable. They didn't realize they were just going to fall into a trap of implicating themselves, which is where Representative Stacey Plaskett enters the conversation. She's a Democrat from the U.S. Virgin Islands. And for reference, that is where Epstein Island was. Okay. She assumed office in 2015. And by the way, shocker, she's very anti-Trump. She actually served as an impeachment manager during his second impeachment. I know it's hard to keep track of which. So the second one, she was an impeachment manager. Well, she also apparently was a pretty good friend of Jeffrey Epstein's, because when the last batch of documents came out, the Washington Post, of all places, noticed that she and Epstein were like good texting buddies. Like they were texting all the time. In fact, they were texting in the middle of congressional hearings, and he ended up coaching her on how to get dirt on President Trump during a hearing of Michael Cohen's testimony. And so I want to show you the Washington Post timed out when she was on camera texting and emailing and what was being said between her, Stacey Plaskett, and Jeffrey Epstein.
Obama, President of the United States. And while we were once driving through a struggling neighborhood in Chicago, he commented,
she says, not anymore,
that only black people could live that way.
Michael Cohen's talking. She's just texting Jeffrey Epstein.
Yes,
From Jeffrey Epstein, Cohen brought up Rona, keeper of the secrets.
Even today, in a written submission that contradicted your testimony.
She says
you
Rona?
suggested you were going to review that. Did you review? Are you going to review it in our next break to correct the record? Yes or no?
Yes.
Quick, I'm up next.
Question,
Is that an acronym?
Campaign,
she's like, what's Rona? Who's Rona? What are you talking about?
Hurry up. Your words today, it was your
Jeffrey
idea
Epstein
for
says
the
that's his
campaign dating
assistant.
back to 2011. Is that accurate? Yes or no?
Yes.
Now you'll notice.
Mr. Weisenberg and other individuals, Ms. Rona. Who are those individuals? Are they with the Trump organization?
They are.
Are there other people that we should be meeting with?
So Alan Weisselberg is the chief financial officer.
You got to quickly give us as many names as you can so we can get to them.
Yes, ma'am.
Is Ms. Rona, what is Ms. Rona's position?
Rona Graff is Mr. Trump's executive assistant.
And would she be able to corroborate many of the statements that you've made here?
Yes, her office is directly next to his.
Good work, he says.
She's involved in
Good little lapdog. Good
that
work.
Went on.
Good work, Stace. Good work. And so you see, which, by the way, the irony is not lost on me that they kept trying to get Trump with Jeffrey Epstein. I mean, it turns out Jeffrey Epstein at every direction hates his guts. Like, he hates Donald Trump. So the idea that they were best buds and things were he clearly hates Donald Trump. He's trying to help Stacey Plaskett in an impeachment hearing for Donald Trump. Okay. Now, of course, this was released and Democrats would say Republicans pounced on Stacey Plaskett texting her BFF Jeffrey Epstein because of course. And so Stacey Plaskett had to give some sort of defense. And here's how she tried to defend that.
And I got a text from Jeffrey Epstein, who at the time was my constituent, who was not public knowledge at that time that he was under federal investigation.
Okay.
And who was sharing information with me.
And I don't know what to say next. You know, it's interesting, Stace. It's interesting. I don't think many random constituents just have their congressperson's phone numbers. I don't think that, many constituents have their own island. I don't think this was just a case of I was just working for my constituents and I just give everyone my phone number. They all have it. I would like to know how many other constituents of Stacey Plaskett's have her personal cell phone number or her personal email address or her email address. I mean, you get my point, right? That's not it's just a random constituent. It just happened to be a constituent helping me. And for the record, I had no idea he was under federal investigation. Okay, cool. So the 2019 case wasn't public, but he still had a child prostitution case that was completely known about. This was a thing that was well documented. 2008, the New York Times headline, financier starts sentence in prostitution case. We all knew in 2019 that Jeffrey Epstein was a bad guy. By the way, square what she just said on the House floor with what she said to CNN, that apparently Stacey can't keep her story straight because then she did admit that she knew about his child sex convictions.
I believe that Jeffrey Epstein had information and I was going to get information to get at the truth. If individuals are not involved in illegal activity, extending his criminal enterprise or his financial enterprise or all of those things, I think that we need to look at what people are doing moving forward.
Wait, let me just better understand that. What is that point? Because at the time he was a known sex offender and it had been detailed all the sexual abuse.
There are a lot of people who have done a lot of crimes. And as a prosecutor, you get information from people where you can.
Oh, there are a lot of people who have done a lot of crimes, but I'm more interested on who they are moving forward, which is so crazy from someone who is within a party that has literally been screaming for the last several months that Donald Trump must have been on Sex Island with Jeffrey Epstein because he had a picture taken. There was a picture taken with them together many, many years ago. He must be guilty of child sex trafficking. We are supposed to believe simultaneously that anyone whoever associated with Jeffrey Epstein is definitely the devil, except Stacey Plaskett, I guess. I don't know. I can't keep this straight. So you hope, right, that they keep the same energy. Where is that energy? Where is that energy when we're talking about Stacey Plaskett, who's BFFs with Jeffrey Epstein, texting him for help on? This is a this is a predator, a bad person. So let's see what kind of outrage Jamie Raskin had on Stacey Plaskett.
Well, they want to give them another headline, which is that they've arraigned a Democratic member for taking a phone call from her constituent, Jeffrey Epstein, in the middle of a hearing. And of course, I don't think there's any rule here against taking phone calls in a hearing.
What? There's rules against taking a phone call during a hearing? I mean, Jeffrey, like, he was just a really important constituent. That is really the lane that they are taking. That is really the lane that they're going on. But Donald Trump was at a party with Jeffrey Epstein once, and there is video of them, Donald Trump making a joke to Jeffrey Epstein, therefore he's a criminal. Like, do they realize how retarded they sound? Now, okay, Jamie Raskin, total doofus, won't take a stand. That's fine. Let's look at their party's major leader, Hakeem Jeffries. What is his stance? Surely there is anyone within the Democrat Party who actually has an objective stance on whether or not it is bad or good to be associated with Jeffrey Epstein after we knew that he was a total creep. Let's see what Hakeem had to say.
She was arguing her texts with Jeffrey Epstein were not illegal, but in your view, were they appropriate?
Well, Stacey Plaskett is not accused of violating any House rule, any law, any statute, and she's clearly and unequivocally denounced Jeffrey Epstein. And I think what the survivors fought for today.
But do you think it was appropriate for her to be texting with Jeffrey Epstein 11 years after he pleaded guilty? I
mean, I have not had a conversation with Stacey Plaskett to discuss this issue because we've been focused today on making sure that there was a decisive vote.
Do you plan to talk to her about it?
I think that we successfully defeated a resolution that lacked any basis, was not credible.
Yeah, I was just asking if you personally believe messaging with JeffreyEpstein, who is at that point a registered sex offender,
you've lost
is
CNN,
appropriate for a
you're
member
screwed.
Of the House Democratic Caucus.
That's the third time you've asked me this question, and I'm going to give you the same exact answer. Our focus today is on making sure that the Jeffrey Epstein files were released. If you want to have a conversation with Stacey Plaskett about it, I'm sure she'd be willing to talk to you. It was an illegitimate effort to try to remove her from the House Committee on Intelligence.
These people have absolutely no morals and no standards, and they try to hold them against you, but they don't hold them themselves. I mean, that's what's so disgusting about this. They want to use this as a reason to, moving into the midterms, secure some sort of, majority, and then launch another impeachment of Donald Trump. And they have none of these standards for themselves because they all knew that they were, in fact, the ones in bed with Jeffrey Epstein. Maybe literally. I don't know. But there was an actual motion, as he referred to censor Stacey Plaskett. And could you guess how many Democrats voted to censure her? 0. 0 Democrats voted to censure Stacey Plaskett for being BFFs with Jeffrey Epstein after she knew that he was a sex predator of children. So I don't want to hear anything else from the Democrats on how aghast they are or how outraged they are and how shocking it is. And shut up. You don't care about predators. You don't care about sex trafficking. We saw it in your border policy for 4 years before Donald Trump got back into office, where your administration allowed one of the greatest sex trafficking scandals of all time to take place, lining the pocketbooks of coyotes and cartels. Like, get out of here with your faux moral outrage. Now, I'm not done because more Democrats, as I mentioned, there are more Democrat ties to Epstein that are coming out, including the man you just saw there, very uncomfortable with answering the question on whether or not it was appropriate for Stacey Plaskett to be texting with Jeffrey Epstein. Hakeem Jeffries, you have some explaining to do.
Another email shows Democrat fundraisers invited Epstein to an event or to meet privately with Hakeem Jeffries as part of their 2013 effort to win a majority. So Hakeem Jeffries' campaign solicited money from Jeffrey Epstein. That's what we found in the last document batch.
Why are you soliciting money from sex predators of children? Here's that email, subject line, Rising Star. We are thrilled to announce, dear Jeffrey, we are thrilled to announce that we are working with Congressman Hakeem Jeffries, one of the rising stars in the New York congressional delegation, sometimes referred to as Brooklyn's Barack. Shoot us an email or give us a call if you would like to get involved with the dinner or would like to get an opportunity to get to know Hakeem better. Ooh, that's embarrassing for Hakeem. I mean, they called him Brooklyn's Barack, and that's embarrassing. Also, the fact that he was groveling for support, financial support from a convicted child predator. Like, these are bad people. And I'm not going to tolerate any longer them pretending like they care about who was associated with Jeffrey Epstein. We already knew they didn't care when you had them trying to tie Epstein to Trump. And then you had Bill Clinton out there 1 billion times riding on Lolita's Express, whatever the hell it's called. Okay. And they never cared then. But now all of a sudden they really care who was ever associated with Jeffrey Epstein, who ever showed up at the same party with Jeffrey Epstein. Like, shut up. You also, by the way, speaking of Bill Clinton, one of his besties, Larry Summers, is like, I think, panicking over all of these files coming out. He sees the writing on the wall and he's trying to get ahead of it. He said the former Treasury Secretary resigned from OpenAI's board, stepping away from the public. Larry Summers resigns from OpenAI board as scrutiny over Jeffrey Epstein emails intensifies. He already knows what's coming. He's getting ahead of it. He's going to go into hiding. And he is trying to get ahead of it with his Harvard class. Here's how he addressed them.
Some of you will have seen my statement of regret, expressing my shame.
Shame.
With respect to what I did in communication.
With respect to what you did.
And that I've said that I'm going to step back from public activities.
What did you do, sir? I thought it was Donald Trump that was going to be, game over for him with all of these files. Well, now you're resigning? Oh, okay. Well, maybe this was just a game of 4D chess orchestrated by Donald Trump. Maybe this was like Donald Trump. Jeffrey Epstein hated him. It only makes sense that Trump may have had a part in turning Jeffrey Epstein into law enforcement. There's no evidence that he ever did anything wrong. The victims, the people who have spoken out publicly have all said, including their attorneys, have all said there is absolutely no evidence that Donald Trump did anything wrong. In fact, he was one of the people who coordinated with them so beautifully, who gave them all of the information that they needed, who they didn't have to subpoena. He willingly came in and said, yeah, let's get this guy. He's a bad guy. He banned him from Mar-a-Lago. Like, this was stupid. This was the Democrats being so retarded that they're so blinded by their TDS, they didn't realize they were just going to implicate themselves. And I personally love to see it. All right. Want to thank our sponsor, and then I want to bring on our panel to react to this. So our sponsor, this segment is Relief Factor. Any of you who are living in pain, I know about it, okay? I was in a car accident like many, many years ago with someone who was like a terrible driver and a terrible person. And I ended up with a lot of like back pain, protruding and herniated discs. Not good, Okay. So Relief Factor has been very, very instrumental in helping me get out of pain. It was daily pain. And so I know if you're in pain, it sucks. It affects every facet of your life. You're probably like less patient with your spouse and your kids. And, you can't do as much as you'd like. Try Relief Factor, would you? It's an all-natural anti-inflammatory. And 70% of the people who order that 3-week quick start you see on your screen go on to keep ordering more. So the odds are in your favor. It can work for you. And that can be life-changing. You can get that 3-week quick start at relieffactor.com. That is relieffactor.com. Welcome to the show, Matthew Marsden, of course, BlazeTV contributor and actor and producer extraordinaire, along with Adam Johnson. He is, of course, everyone's favorite insurrectionist, everyone's favorite J6er. Welcome to the show, Adam.
Hey, thanks for having me back on. Good to see you again.
Yeah, good to see you. So on the topic of, Jeffrey Epstein and how this is all playing out with the Democrats, like, oops, it turns out we were the baddies and we were too damn retarded to realize if the files did come out like we've been screeching about, it was actually just going to implicate us. Oopsies. And Jasmine Crockett, she decided she wanted to enter the conversation. I think she's obviously an attention whore. She probably didn't want to be left out about weighing in on the Stacey Plaskett thing. And so she tried very, very hard. Like, what can I do to deflect? And so her claim was that Lee Zeldin took money from Jeffrey Epstein as well.
Folks who also took money from somebody named Jeffrey Epstein, as I had my team dig in very quickly.
Somebody named
Mitt
Jeffrey
Romney,
Epstein.
The NRCC.
Uh-oh.
Lee Zeldin.
Oh.
I just want to be clear. If this is the standard that we're going to make, just know we're going to expose it all. And just know that the FEC filings, they are available for everybody to review. This is absolutely ridiculous.
Oh, no. It is over for Lee Zeldin. Except it's not, because it was a different Jeffrey Epstein who donated to Lee Zeldin. Would you believe it? There's more than one Jeff Epstein that exists. This was Dr. Jeffrey Epstein of Manhasset, New York, who donated a total of $1,000 in 2020. The other Jeffrey Epstein, the owner of a beverage distribution company from New Brunswick, New Jersey, donated $600 in February 2020. Neither of them were the Jeffrey Epstein child predator and sex trafficker that we know, who, by the way, Jazz killed himself in 2019, which is an entire year before the donations were made. You retard. Adam.
Whatever staffer put together the prep for her needs a raise in promotion. I just want to see them keep doing good work because I love watching her fail. It's just amazing. It really, really is. And I'm on the side of calling these people out. Look, I don't think anyone with, any two moral cells put together have to complain about everything being released in the Epstein files, regardless of who it implicates and what they may or may not have done.
Yeah. I also, it's like, Matt, it's like the least shocking thing in the world to me that Jasmine Crockett's staff would also be as damn dumb as she is. Yeah. I'm like, of course she's like, I had my staff look into this and this what they came up with. And it's like, yeah, I believe it, actually. I'm sure your staff, you're entirely staffed with people who act and talk just like you. And shockingly, they didn't put the pieces together.
Well, this is what you get when you get DEI, right? You get DEI from top to bottom. It's very difficult to find someone that is more retarded than that woman. She's so stupid that it gives stupid people a bad name. Yeah, I when you were talking about that, about Jeffrey Epstein, it always reminded me, do you remember, you're too young for this.
Oh,
a movie came out.
I don't get told that very often, whatever it is.
A movie came out many years ago called The Omen.
Okay.
Not the remake. You probably remember the remake.
I do.
Because you're younger.
Yeah, I'm a young whippersnapper, I am.
But us old farts remember the original one. And nobody called their son Damien for years and years and years and years because of that movie. Seriously.
Yeah.
So I feel really bad for all the Jeffrey Epsteins in the world. Can you imagine? Okay, excuse me, I'd like to book a dinner for two. What's your name? Jeffrey Epstein. Would you start saying something else?
You'd probably just go by Jeff.
You got to be right.
Yeah, because like Jeffrey is what he went by. So you'd be like, my name's Jeff E.
Right, because you couldn't even say J. Epstein because everyone's like, oh.
Yeah, that would be really bad. I don't think probably no one is naming their kid Jeffrey Epstein at this point, I'm sure. But the idea that there wouldn't be a million of them is so ridiculous. And so I want to talk to you guys about another thing as well. We've got everyone talking about Jeffrey Epstein and the Democrats just totally owning themselves. They also, I don't understand anything that they're doing. Like it feels like TDS has clouded their judgment, not just on the Epstein files, but on like literally everything. And after, Adam, in particular, I can't wait to hear what you have to say about this, because after we just went through all of the, being called an insurrectionist. In fact, I mean, Adam more than us, but I also get called one. And I'm like, I wasn't even there and I get to be called an insurrectionist, which sounds kind of cool, I guess. I don't know. But they are putting out videos now after saying insurrection is bad. Now they're calling for a full-blown military insurrection against Donald Trump, I guess.
We want to speak directly to members of the military
and the intelligence community
who take risks each day to keep Americans safe.
We know you are under enormous stress and pressure right now.
Americans trust their military.
But that trust is at risk. This administration is using our uniformed military
and intelligence community professionals
against American citizens. Like us, you all swore an oath
to protect and defend this Constitution.
Right now, the threats to our Constitution aren't just coming from abroad, but from right here at home. Our laws are clear. You can refuse illegal orders.
You can refuse illegal orders.
You must refuse illegal orders. Your vigilance is critical.
And know that we have your back.
Because now, more than ever,
the American people need you.
We need you to stand up for our laws,
our Constitution, and who we are as Americans. Don't give up. Don't give up. Don't give up.
Don't give up the ship.
Oh, it is so rich coming from the party who was like arresting moms at parks during COVID, that they're like, you can just refuse. You swore an oath to the Constitution, and that doesn't apply when we're arresting people for like being outside during COVID, but it definitely applies now that all of these, I don't know, I'm trying to figure out which laws they're talking about that are being broken right now by Donald Trump, but you can just refuse. In fact, you guys should just take over is what they're saying, Adam. It sounds a little insurrection-y to me.
Hey, listen, the only thing they didn't say was we have to storm the building, so I'm pretty sure they're safe at this point. But listen, I mean, how many veterans lost their service careers because they didn't get vaccinated? Mm-hmm. Like, where were these people speaking up against that? These people lost, their pensions, their 20-year retirements, their health insurance, their livelihoods, and they were dishonorably discharged for saying, I don't want to take an experimental drug. Mm-hmm. So these people, they speak out of both sides of their mouth, especially was that Jason Crow. Every time I see him, I'm reminded I need to get my testosterone checked so I don't turn out like that guy.
Well, I'm glad that you said that guy's one of those guys' names, because I was looking at them and I was just like, I don't know who any of you retards are, except I think one of them was like, what's his name? Mark Kelly? Is that Mark Kelly? Okay, so I know Mark. I don't know who that is. Oh, Alyssa Slotkin, my producer says. Okay, well, I couldn't. I don't know. I didn't know. So which one is the low T? That guy?
No, it is. It's coming up. He's got the beard. He looks sad. That's the guy.
That guy. Okay. He looks sad. He does look sad. He looks dead in the eyes, for sure. For sure.
Absolutely. Well, I know he's been terrible for Second Amendment rights. He's a gun grabber. This guy is actually one of the worst ones out there. So I have no problem trashing him anytime I get a chance.
That's why. Okay. That's why, So it's actually rich that he's talking about protecting and defending the Constitution when he wants to take people's guns and disregard the Second Amendment. That's rich coming from these people.
How is this not undermining the military? I mean, you shouldn't do this.
Of course it is.
Like, nobody should be listening to this. It's horrible advice, especially for people that might be impressionable. I mean, you do have a lot of, 18-year-olds in the military that might be listening to that and might look up to these people. Not that we know who they are, but this is anti-American. Like, you don't start talking about the government. I mean, even throughout all the, I remember I was out with a bunch of guys when Obama got in. I was out with a bunch of Navy SEALs, and he got in, and I said, well, what do you do now? And they said, we just follow the commander-in-chief, like that's it. Mm-hmm. And these guys are undermining that. It's very bad for us. It's very bad for us as a country, and it's really bad for us as a military. But the other thing is most people that are joining up right now are complete Trumpers. Yeah. That they're actually turning it the right way. Yeah. That is actually an appeal to all the career generals and the people that have gone through that have been political, going up the chain politically.
All the deep staters, which it's so remarkable how Democrats constantly talk out of both sides of their mouth, because I was told that there wasn't a deep state at all, but it's just that they're encouraging people to not follow the command of the commander-in-chief and do what they feel is right, which is actually the exact definition of what a deep state is. It's these bureaucrats who think that they know better and subvert the orders of the guy at the top. So they're like, there's no such thing as a deep state. What are you talking about? Hey, guys, make sure that you don't follow the instructions of Donald Trump. Which one is it?
But you know what, Sarah? Here's another point, is that this can be deadly for them. Yeah. Because if you're in a situation, active, war zone, and someone is not following orders because they, it's like, listen, we need you to do an airstrike here. And they say, I'm not going to do it. That could result in American servicemen and women getting killed. Right. And it's very, very serious. And they seem to treat these things like they're nothing, like it doesn't matter. It's just words. But these have real far-reaching consequences. Yeah. And they need to be looked into, I think. Like anything, when you hear them say things like this, like with Jasmine Crockett, with the woman from the Virgin Islands, go and investigate them, guys. Go and have a look at who might or might not be funding them.
Yeah, I just love we got to go to break in a second here, but I just love the Democrats whenever they do these videos. Do you guys remember one of my favorite parts of the elections with Donald Trump have been these stupid videos where they get a bunch of them together and they all repeat the same thing. We had all the Hollywood A-listers who were doing it. What was it? I guess it was the 2016 election when they really started doing it. And they were like, Donald Trump is a danger to our democracy, danger to our democracy, danger to our democracy. And it was like all of them just repeating the same shit. Yeah. And it was so embarrassing. Go ahead, Adam.
These were Hollywood actors, your friends, Matt. I remember this.
They're no friends of mine, dude. Don't put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby.
He's reformed now. Mm-hmm. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and take a quick break. We'll be back with more, but I want to thank our sponsor of this segment, PreBorn. So if you guys are looking for a tax-deductible donation to make at the end of the year, I am telling you, look no further than PreBorn, because what PreBorn is doing is a woman who is pregnant. She has an unplanned pregnancy. She's scared. She doesn't know what to do. She is either going to go into a Planned Parenthood where they're going to tell her it's just a clump of cells. Don't worry, you won't regret a thing. Just get an abortion. Or she's going to go into a network. PreBorn has this network of clinics where she goes into a PreBorn clinic and they just literally show her baby on ultrasound and she listens to the heartbeat. And in that moment, she is twice as likely to choose life. Look at that baby. How many babies can you help me save? Because here's the thing. Ultrasounds cost money. $28 is the cost of one ultrasound. And what we know is that the woman is twice as likely to choose life with the $28. So I'm just saying $28, however many ultrasounds you can afford, you will know that it is saving babies' lives, quite literally. This is a great holiday gift for people, adults. If you go to these holiday parties and you're like, I don't know what to get my adult family members who have everything, give them the gift of life this Christmas season. You can go to preborn.com/Sarah, donate securely over at preborn.com/Sarah. Seems like every day we continue our conversation on the Islamification of this country. And yesterday, there were some protesters who went to the streets of Dearborn, Michigan, where this is like ground zero for everything that could go wrong with importing a bunch of Muslims. They were protesting, of course, the Muslim takeover. 55% of people in Dearborn, Michigan are Muslim. According to the 2023 census. So this is This is the majority now in Dearborn, Michigan. And the response to these protests from the very peaceful religion, we're told, the very peaceful Islamists went about as well as you would expect. So this is a bunch of Christian protesters. They were swarmed by Muslims. We've seen videos of people being punched in the face, people being tackled. Independent journalist Cam Higbee was just asking what appeared to be, I don't know, I can't tell gender with some of these gender neutral fools, but trans Antifa member. And he was just asking a question and he got pepper sprayed by that person.
So why is he not welcome on a public sidewalk?
Get the camera out of my face. Get that camera out of my face or I'll take it from you, okay?
Why are you walking closer to the camera, weirdo? So he gets pepper sprayed.
Phone right here. Is this his phone? All right, guys, he just got pepper sprayed for attacking and assaulting someone. No, you're not gonna get your phone. Actually, you get it. Here you go. There we go. Yeah.
Now, Cam went to the police and asked for help, and the policeman wouldn't leave his post because you have to understand that, like, when you are the majority in a city, you then fill all of the positions for the officials like the mayor and the city council and the police force. So who's going to help you when they all agree with the people who are there for the Muslims? And so Cam went to the city council meeting. Here's what he said.
Today on the streets of Dearborn, I was pepper sprayed, maced by protesters because I asked them simply why they were harassing and touching another individual who had stated repeatedly that he was only on their side of the street to talk to them and have a dialogue. My phone was smashed. You can see the broken camera right there. They stole $50 out of my pocket and they stole my microphone receiver. I went and I told one of your officers, badge number 3668, that this had happened. He told me there was nothing that could be done about it unless I went to the station. I told him, I can't go to the station. I said, sir, I can't leave my post. 5 minutes later, I caught him in the parking lot on a personal phone call. Okay? Repeatedly today, I watched people that are in this room get attacked by other people that are in this room. I watched your officers not respond to those attacks repeatedly.
Now, let's get that. I think we have an example of one of those attacks, a punching in the face here. So, very peaceful, except for like all of the not peace. Adam, what are your thoughts on all of the Islamification happening in this country? Well, of course, specifically in Dearborn.
I think it's time to start revoking visas. I think it's time to start denying these people any opportunity for citizenship in our country. We've had enough. We've been open and inviting, and we've tried our best to say, hey, come here and assimilate. They have no desire. As a matter of fact, they are gathering together. They are doing exactly what you're saying, taking over police forces, taking over county commissioner positions and roles, and they are enforcing Sharia law in many, many ways, both legally and illegally throughout the city. It's time to revoke their visas and send them home.
Yeah, there doesn't seem to really be any other way to handle this because, I mean, you can imagine how bad this gets, Matt, if we continue to see more cities develop more majority Muslim populations. By the way, I saw a statistic that was like, I did not fact check it. Maybe it was wrong. You can't believe everything you see on the internet. But it was going through the majority of or the percentage of people who are Muslim who are there who have just overstayed their visas. And it was like a crazy number that a lot of these people shouldn't even be here. To Adam's point, a lot of these people should not even be here. They either came illegally or they just overstayed their visa and they are now here illegally. Surely we can do so, like with all of the deportations that we're doing and ICE going into all of these cities, like surely we can get someone to go into Dearborn, Michigan and round up all of these people who are not here legally anymore and get them the hell out of our country.
Part of the issue with this is that people conflate a religion with a race. And they do the same thing with overstaying visas, people that come from different countries. And trust me, I mean, I've said this before, Iran and Iraq were at war for years and years and years. So to put people into one giant, like, homogenous group is not right. You have... I think it was the foreign minister of the UAE came out and he said, listen, the radicals are going to come from Europe. Okay, so this is a majority Muslim country. Well, it's a Muslim country saying, listen, we don't tolerate these radicals. So I think it's really important to understand what is going on right now. And that is the radicals, the people that none of the Muslim countries want are going to Europe and they're coming here. So that's why you get scenes like that, because you're getting the worst people here. And for some reason we're going, yes, come on, come to America, come to Europe, where the Muslim countries are like, we don't want those people, they're troublemakers. Right. And for some reason we can't say no, and we won't say no, but Muslim countries are saying no, we're not accepting them because they're troublemakers. So this is of our own doing. Because we're inviting them in, we're not policing them properly, we're not vetting them properly. And then when they do things that are bad, like you saw it with all the, I've got to watch what I say here because it's YouTube, but with certain gangs that happened over in the UK, they were emboldened because they were never prosecuted. So I want to look at what's going on in America and us enforcing our laws. That's the first port of call, right? Like you said, why are they all overstaying their visas? They got to be gone.
Right. Which, and by the way, I hope that this does nothing except solidify that as a conservative, I'm very objective about this. I don't care if you're white. I don't care if you have brown skin. I don't care if you have purple skin, although you should probably go to a doctor if you do have purple skin. I don't care like where you're from. If you're here illegally, if you overstayed your visa, and on top of that, you don't even plan to assimilate into the, like, I just need you gone. And so I know that there's a lot of talk, we have like Tom Homan going out there and doing these CNN hits. And I think the larger conversation is focused on people from El Salvador and people from, Nicaragua and people from Mexico and all this. And I think we do need to start having a much larger conversation about when is ICE going to handle all of these people who, let's just say they didn't walk here, okay? I just keep waiting for that to happen. And I mean, I hope that it does, but it's kind of alarming to me that we haven't heard that from the Trump administration yet. Hopefully it's coming soon. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. There is a lot of mess to clean up. So like maybe they're getting to that next. All right, let's go ahead and take another quick break. We'll be back with more, but I want to thank new sponsor of the show, or maybe we've talked about them before, but relatively new, American Giant. So American Giant is, this is very, very simple, okay? When you pull on a hoodie or a t-shirt, you shouldn't have to wonder where it was made or how it was put together. And American Giant makes all of its gear right here in the United States from top quality materials and with strong and beautiful craftsmanship. So every piece lives up to what made in America really means. You're going to feel the difference, obviously. You're like the fabric. My husband has a hoodie from them, and like you really do. It's like, this is good fabric. It's good material, the attention to detail, the way it holds its shape, wash after wash. And they're not chasing the lowest cost. They're building something that's made to last and something that is worth owning. So when you support American Giant, you're not just buying clothes. You're helping to back a company that believes in its workers, in its factories right here at home, and in doing things the right way. In a world of fast fashion and throwaway apparel, American Giant stands apart. It's smart, sustainable, and built with pride. Buy American today at americangiant.com. Save 20% when you use, American-Giant.com. Save 20% when you use my name, Sarah, at checkout. That is American-Giant.com, promo code Sarah. All right, before we get into this next topic, I want to remind you guys, as we move into the holidays, if you have not yet gotten Blaze TV or given the gift of Blaze TV, you can do that for a holiday gift, for a Christmas gift, I should say. BlazeTV.com/Sarah. If you use promo code Sarah, you're going to get some savings. Give the gift of Blaze TV. BlazeTV.com/Sarah, promo code Sarah for some savings. So there is a socialist who was elected mayor that I don't think is getting, when you got the Muslim commie in New York City, that tends to hog up all the spotlight. And so I wanted to shine a light on Seattle's mayor-elect Katie Wilson, who apparently still at 43 years old had her parents sending her money like paying for her to live, which is a really great, like, hey, socialism is so great. Let me tell you why socialism is so cool. Let me sell it to you. I still have to take money from my parents at 43. And she said, after much deliberation and a grueling interview process, I'm pleased to announce that I've accepted a new job and will not need any financial support from my parents to cover the high cost of childcare going forward. And, yeah, that is your mayor-elect in Seattle, 43 years old. Her husband does not have a job. And by the way, Seattle's mayor position pays around $230,000. Congratulations, Katie. And more importantly, congratulations, Seattle. This is what you chose. This is what you chose. A woman who has no idea how the world works, cannot even balance her own checkbook, and now at 43 years old is going to stop using mommy and daddy's finances. Matt.
It's perfect, isn't it?
It really is.
I mean, it really is perfect. I mean, imagine putting that tweet out. Like, how embarrassing. Why would you even say it anyway? Is there any reason for her saying it?
I think she was trying to, like, I think it was some sort of a brat. Like, does not have the self-awareness to understand how stupid she sounded. And I think it was like a slam at high cost of childcare. I think. I don't know.
Do you know what a really low cost childcare is? Staying at home with your kid and get your husband to go and earn a living.
Yeah. They're doing backwards. Go ahead, Adam.
This was my concern as well. So what the hell is he doing then? The only thing I can think of is, like, I wouldn't trust my kids around leftists. So maybe that's what she's thinking too. Like, this guy's got to be no good. He's a liberal married to a communist. I don't trust him around my own children. Maybe it's that. That's the only thing I can rationalize.
No, but you can't rationalize that, Adam, because she married him. So, like, she likes the soy boy lib mentality. What the hell is he going to do all day?
Well, I guess make sandwiches yourself.
No, it can go and protest, right? It can go and protest. It can be an Antifa.
Well, who's he going to protest now? Because his wife got the mayor position. So I guess she's got everything covered. Everything's going to be great with this 43-year-old who's never, never not needed mommy and daddy's money. I mean, but it really is. It's a great light to shine. But it's also a great reminder that the people like her, they're not just running your cities. I get it. That's a rare case. But there are many of them voting. And there are many of them on social media who want to tell you how the world works. And in fact, they don't know. They have no clue because they've been taking mommy and daddy's money this entire time.
It's shocking.
I just think, listen, I appreciate the right to vote. I get it. But I think that we need to be a little bit more choosy about who gets to vote. And if you're still on mommy and daddy's teat, maybe you shouldn't vote. At 43, maybe we should just revoke your right. Maybe we should just do that. In fact, maybe we should just kill the 19th entirely.
I was going to say that, but I didn't.
Well, I'm the only one who can say it and not get in trouble. So I'm just saying, I've seen the maps. I've seen the graphs. Things would be great. Adam Johnson, Matthew Marsden, I appreciate you guys. And we will see you tomorrow.